Dear students, till now we studied how to define a class and how to include the methods. So Python is an object-oriented programming language, which means that it provides the features that supports the object-oriented programming, and these are some defining characteristics. So you can see here the programs must include class and method definitions. So whatever we are going to write the logic, it is inside the class, and we define the methods inside the class. So most of the computation is expressed in terms of operations on objects. So these objects, they represents the things in the real world, and the methods often corresponds to the way things in the real world interact. So for example, class is a template and object is a implementation of this class. For example, you can see here student is a class with attributes name, roll number and USN. So this class is just a template. This class is just a template. Implementation of this template corresponds to the object. You can see here first object, name is Rakesh, roll number is 1, and this is the USN. So this is just a implementation of this class student. So the object is this one now. Similarly, you can see here second object, name is Rani, roll number is 2, and this is the USN. So this is the second object. So object is just implementation of your class. Class is just a template. Class is for our reference. Actual implementation of the class is objects. So this was the earlier example which we considered, class time, which represents time in minutes, hours and seconds. Then we defined one function, that is print time, which takes the parameter as a object of class time, right? So now you can observe here this function print time is not under the scope of class time. It is outside, it's independent. So I'll just execute this class. Then start equals to time. So start is a object of class time. Then I define all the three attributes, start dot hour, start dot minute, start dot second. Then after this I want to call the function print time. So I will just call it like this, print underscore time, and the parameter I want to pass is start. So you can observe here it will print the time. Now I want to include this function print time inside the class time. So just include it, just carefully observe the indentation. Now this function print time is under the scope of class time. Now similarly I have re-executed this start equals time, that is again start is the object of time, start hour, start minute, start second, these are the initialized values. Now to call the function print time, which is present in the class time. So class name, that is time dot function name is print time. Observe here, time first is class name dot function name print time. On what object I have to call this print time? On the object start. You can see here this is the one way of calling the functions which are defined inside the class name dot function name is print time. On what object? Start. This is the first way. And second way is object is start dot the method name is print time. So when I execute this, I will get the output. How to read this is start dot print time. When start is the object of the class time, so you are calling in the class time, call the function print time. The object is passed as the first parameter for the function print time. The object is passed as the first parameter to the function print time. So the parameter is start, so it is resembling the first type only. So we get the answer as 9 hours 10 minutes 10 In this class, we'll study about the init method. The init method, which is short form for initialization, is a special method that gets invoked when an object is instantiated. So its full name is double underscore init, then again followed by double underscores. Now, let's see an example. So class is time, which represents the time in three attributes, that is minute, hour, and second. Then we have defined one function, that is print time, which takes the parameter of type time itself, then prints. Now I will define one init method for this. Define double underscore init double underscore bracket parameters. So now this has to be executed whenever an object is instantiated. So the object which is calling this function, we call it as a self, that is, it is a referencing variable. Self comma hour comma minute comma seconds. If user doesn't give values for hour, minute, and second, then we want to initialize it to 0. So I will say hour equal to 0, minute equal to 0, similarly second equals to 0. Then self dot hour equals to hour. Suppose if the user passed the value for hour, minute, and second, then we have to put those things into self dot hour. Similarly, self dot minute equals to minute, self dot second equals to second. Correct. So I will just execute this. Then next I will create one object, t equals to time. Right. Then I will call that function t dot print underscore time. Now see here, I am not passing any variables or any values for hour, minute, and second. And which object is calling the function print time? T. So now t is referring to the self. So it will be like t dot hour equal to hour. Since I am not passing any explicit values, it will take 0. Right. Now we'll just call this. You can observe here it is printing 0 hour, 0 minute, 0 second. Suppose I will pass the parameter now, t equals to time. Then I will pass the parameter 9. Just check now, t dot print underscore time. So it is printing 9 hours because now first parameter, that is hour. So t dot, so self is referring to now t dot hour equal to 9 I have initialized. Right. Now similarly I will check for one more thing, x equals to time, say 7 comma 45. I'll execute this, x dot print underscore time. Now which object is calling the print time? Now which object is calling print time? X. So now self is x dot, now say 7 and 45 I am passing. So x dot hour is 7, x dot minute is 45, x dot minute is 45, x dot second I have not passed, so it will take 0 only. Just print this. You can see here it is 7:45.